Hey there guys, I'm your host of the No BS Fishing Show, Destin, DeMarion. And today we're at a beautiful lake in northwest Pennsylvania about to chase some big largemouth. I got my special guest here with us, Elite Series Pro and Amistad Bass Guide, Kurt Dub. How's it going, Kurt?
Destin, I'm doing awesome, man. I really appreciate you having me out here. I'm obviously never been here before. I've heard there's bass in the lake, at least that's what you're telling me. So,
that's to my understanding, yeah, that's how it is.
Well,
I don't know for sure either.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. You know, when I'm driving through Pennsylvania coming up here, I keep daydreaming about, 1 or 2 foot of snow up here. So I'm glad I'm here in the summertime, excited to go wet a line.
Yeah, there's some big ones in here and we're hoping we can get one for you. Let's go get after it.
Let's do it.
We're about to kick it off. Let's see if Kurt's ready. Are you ready? Let's do it.
I'm on a lake I've never been to before. The first thing that I'm looking for on a lake that I've never been to is a visual target. So, I see we've got some lily pads, a few docks, and some laydowns. So I've rigged up some rods. I got some frogs rigged up. I've got some Texas rig, a couple of moving baits. So we're gonna get out here, get after this, see if we can't figure out how to catch some of these bass up here in northwest Pennsylvania.
I'm starting off with a topwater frog. We're fishing some matted vegetation, some lily pads, some milfoil beds. It's usually a good bet to catch a good fish right off the bat, especially in the morning. In the low light conditions, those fish are going to be feeding up a lot of the times. We've got some cloud cover today, and I think there is going to be a topwater bite. We'll see if it plays. So I'm going to give it some time. We started over here, close to the ramp, and we're gonna see how it works.
So I'm starting off with a buzz frog right here. Really what the buzz frog enables me to do is to keep moving. Right now, the most critical thing for me is to cover as much water as I can to try and figure out what kind of mood the bass are in. I'm starting to see a little bit of hydrilla and maybe a little bit of milfoil out here just away from the pads. But again, I'm gonna start on those visual targets.
We got a little stain to the water. I'm using a popping frog, so hopefully they can find it a little better. Oh, we already missed one. That's good though. That's showing me that I might be right.
There's one. Oh God, come on. And the fish hit just on the very end of my cast. And I had him on there for a minute, but run around in that cover and just didn't quite hook up for him. And that's what he is.
There's a dock coming up with a pontoon boat. Those are generally really good areas when the sun gets up because the fish will get tight to cover and those offer a lot of shade. I'm definitely going to hit that dock probably with a Senko or a tube and skip it underneath there. And sometimes you can catch a really big one that way. But we're going to work through this pad field real quick, see if we can get a couple bites. Try to figure out what they're doing right now because it is a kind of transition. It's mid-morning. We missed the early morning bite and the fish are kind of going to be repositioning right now. So we're just going to try to find them and do the best we can. Be throwing some different lures.
One of the big keys of having success while you're on the water is if you have a thought process that runs through your mind or something that you feel like should work based on a situation that you're seeing, don't just think about it and let it pass. Take action on it. Go ahead, sit down, tie up whatever new presentation or new bait that you think might be applicable for the type of water or cover that you're fishing. I see so many times, whether it's a tournament situation or just going out on the weekend with your son or daughter and hitting a lake that you have a thought and you don't take it. You talk to your buddy and your buddy says, "Yeah, man, I really caught him today on a white spinnerbait," and you say to yourself, "Man, I thought about throwing a white spinnerbait, but I just never tied it on." Take advantage of those thought processes that you have and tie on it, and don't be lazy with your fishing. So we're working this little bladed jig up through here. Bladed jig's a great bait. You know, it's a good shallow water bait, excellent in vegetation because it doesn't get hung up very much. You can work it through the grass and it stays clean and continues to work properly for you. Whereas sometimes it's hard to get a crankbait or some other kind of treble hook bait through vegetation. So a bladed jig is a great choice a lot of times.
A lot of times the creeks on natural lakes have a little bit deeper water, a deeper channel. That's enough to keep it a little bit cooler, attract some bait fish, and sometimes those bigger fish will hang back in there. And like I said, it's got some moving water too, so it's well oxygenated. This seems like a very healthy fishery. There he is. And we got a pike. Wrong species.
Bring your friends two-legged and four to Grove City Agway and Pets with everything for your pets, big and small, featuring Blue Buffalo, Taste of the Wild, Natural Balance, Nutro, with a complete pet grooming salon and more than 100 operating freshwater fish tanks, plus everything for your lawn, like green lawn fall and winter fertilizer. See us online at agway.com and come visit the experts at Grove City Agway. The brands you know, the people you trust. Grove City Agway and Pets.
Crawford County is truly a sportsman's destination. You can hunt on 18,000 acres of state game lands or 5,500 acres of permitted reserves. Wait quietly by one of the 8 lakes for waterfowl. Or experience the thrill of a guided hunt on a private reserve. Contact us for more information and free hunting and fishing maps. Crawford County, Pennsylvania.
We got some current back here. I can see it moving. There should definitely be fish here. I just had something blow up on it and missed it. Get it again. You know, sometimes when they're not biting right, they'll just suck it down and not get it the whole way, so you can't really get a good hook in them. And the frog fishing it's basically a low percentage catch ratio, which sucks, but the opportunity to catch big ones is what keeps you throwing it. Because with all the plastic and you got 2 hooks on the frog, sometimes the plastic will inhibit the hooks from hooking up right in the mouth and stuff like that. It's just a risk you take when you're throwing a frog.
You know, I see Destin. Destin's kind of staying up into that same, you know, depth zone where I was originally started as well. And you know, we gave him a little tip and he gave us a little tip, and that was that we haven't caught any bass yet. So yeah, that kind of stuff you got to use any kind of information that can help you. So you know, that's why we're going to kind of change up. We're still going to stay a little bit on the top water situation because we still have this low light. It's not going to last for long. I see the blue skies start to break up or move in up there, and the clouds are starting to break up. So see, this time we're going through here. We're not staying up inside the cover. We're staying out in front of the cover, just a little bit deeper water. We're sitting in about 4 feet right here, 4 to 4.5 feet. See if that helps us make a little bit of difference on this stretch.
So we switched to that worm. There's a little bit of shade underneath there, right behind those lily pads, and I pitched it up there, and he just yanked the rod right out of my hand. That's a start. We'll take it.
Gotcha.
There's one. There, we got one. Look at that. Right on that buzz frog. All right, we're in the game.
So again, let me put my power poles down real quick. Kind of keep us off our little area. You know, I had a little blow up over here, wasn't really sure. I was actually checking out the restaurant next door, but I mentioned, you know, a little bit of water coming in this tube right here. And sometimes you get that fluctuation coming in, the fresh water. Boom, we got our first fish of the day. So fourth blow up, but first one that really kind of attacked it. That's a keeper bass. That's going in the live well.
Yeah, I caught that one on a soft stick bait. That's usually a good lure when the conditions are a little tough. You're trying to figure things out. It's a good bet to get a bite or two. Yamamoto was one of the first ones to bring that out on the market. It's just like a cigar-shaped worm, and pretty much every company has their own version of that, but the Yamamotos were the original. I use a variety of different ones because each one has its place. Had a little one there. See, they're gonna get on these docks. I don't even think that was a keeper. I had him on for a second. He's like right there. We're around some fish.
We got the adrenaline pumping now, right? We're on the board. You know, again, we've kind of got these clouds kind of sticking around, so I was continuing to go through my motions, throw lures I felt like were applicable to the structure or cover that I was coming up to. You saw me throw a bladed jig, a hollow body frog, flipped a creature bait, threw a regular jig at some laydowns, and finally, persistence paid off. We connected. Let's go get another one. Now I'm hoping, you know, we put our power poles down there. I'm hoping that what happens is maybe we can get another bite out of this area. You know, one thing that I tell a lot of people when I'm guiding down at Lake Amistad is your best cast after you just caught a fish is where you just caught the last fish. You know, usually these fish run in little groups, you know, 3, 4, 5 fish, sometimes hundreds of fish. But, you know, and sometimes you've got loners, you never know. But if there's another bass up there, you know, that particular strike may have caused some excitement for that other fish, and it might just go ahead and decide to react on the next thing that comes across its head.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Hit the cameraman. I was literally gonna say, I'm gonna get bit right there. Boom. He'll bite it again. He never felt a hook. I'd say that's no BS moment. Woo! Got a little excited. He missed it. That's a good one. Sometimes you have another chance to catch them because you know where they are. You can flip back on their heads and they'll eat it. Right on his head. Eat it, fish. That's the kind we need. See, that's an irregularity. You got all this, and then there's a little jutting out mat right here, and that's where that fish was sitting. He didn't waste any time biting either.
Good size?
Oh yeah, I think it's a pretty good one. Eat it, fish. I'm going to kind of summarize the first part of our morning. We just took a little break and we're back out on the water. We both kind of started out towards the creek that leads into the lake, and I was frogging, Kurt was doing a little frogging, he was throwing a buzz frog, I was throwing a popping frog. A couple of us, we got a couple bites but never really put anything together. I went and did some flipping back in the creek, throwing a Senko. Nothing really panned out very well. It was real shallow back there, not what I was anticipating. I thought it would be, there'd be a deeper channel there, and when it's real shallow like that, it's not gonna hold bass there the whole summer because it's gonna get too hot. So we got back out here on the main lake. Kurt caught a couple, he caught one pretty good one. We went by the ramp and I caught one, finally put one in the well. Starting to put something together. I feel like that sun's out, those fish are gonna be positioned better on cover, and the rest of the day I'm gonna be attacking it like so. I'm gonna be fishing a lot of boat docks, pontoon boats. Hopefully those fish are getting some of those pads too where I can catch them on a frog. If not, I'll still try flipping them because I think they will hunker down in those pads once that sun gets even higher in the sky. But I'm looking forward to the day, and let's go out and catch them.
I saw this pontoon up here. I just knew it needed a stick bait right by it. A lot of times on these natural lakes, you know, again, these fish will stay really shallow, and anytime there's a big piece of cover, you know, like a dock with a pontoon boat, they'll sit right up next to that. I think I got a bluegill going right here. I got some, just like that. We got another bass. There we go. He ain't big, but you know, just like I was talking about right there, right on the side of that pontoon boat. A lot of times in these natural lakes up here up the north, like we are here today in Pennsylvania, you know, those fish will get right next to any kind of cover or structure right along the bank that creates shade. So that's where that little guy came from. I don't think he's a keeper, but so we checked on our fish size regulation, and that last one wasn't a keeper, so we went ahead and tossed him back. But again, our next best cast where we just caught a fish. So we're gonna go back right next to that pontoon boat and see if we can get a little bit bigger one.
This is looking sexy here. Bluegills are at it again, popping. These fish should be chewing. We've got a decent amount of bites down this stretch, we just haven't been able to put any in the boat yet. Judging by most of the blow-ups, I think they're the right kind too.
And there's another one. That's a good one. There she is. Come on, baby. Nice fish. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, there we go. That's a monster right there. Exactly what we were just talking about. I threw back to the place where we had just caught that small bass, and look at there. Boom! We got a good one. Man, I am so stoked. Really, we've gotten on this little bank. We've gotten several little bites. You know, after we fished the lily pads this morning, and man, we're starting to come across a few fish. I can't wait to see how this afternoon turns out.
Right now we're pressed for time, so I'm really trying to hit the high percentage spots, make a couple casts, or make a couple pitches at it, and then move on. Oh, that'll keep, yes. Not a giant, but we'll take him. Switched from the popping frog to that one, sucked it right down. Go. Now we're calling.
little guy we had. Put back in this. He's gonna give us a little bit more weight. Destin, I hope you're having, because I'm having a decent one. So that's it. We run out of time here on the afternoon session. But man, what a great time we had here today. But it wasn't without a little bit of, difficulty at the beginning. We just didn't start off just, rock and fire. We had to go through the process, work a few different lures, assess the conditions, find out how to catch a few fish out here in Northwest Pennsylvania. Man, it's been a lot of fun being out here. Like I said, catching bass anywhere, I get jacked up, man. It's just a passion of mine. Really thrilled to be here on the No BS show. And look, we got to go to the weigh-in and find out what Destin's got. I hope you had a good afternoon, because I caught a few myself.
So we just wrapped up our day up here in a small 90-acre lake up in Northwest PA. Had a good time, really. It's always a joy to figure out what's going on in a new place. That's really what keeps me going and wanting to fish and learn things. That's the thrill of it, really. The day started off slow. Both of us really didn't get on anything very early. But then after we started to get a couple bites, we started to put some stuff together. And then the last part of the day, we got our bites. Unfortunately, I didn't really capitalize on those bites. I caught a couple fish, a couple decent fish, but nothing really big. That's how it goes. It's fishing, and when you got those opportunities, you got to make the most of them. Anyway, the weigh-in's coming up here, and let's see what happens.
Destin, here it is, moment of truth, partner. It's been a fun day out here. I had a fair afternoon and was able to put a few more fish in the well from my morning hours. So here we go, man. Let's see what we got.
Let's see what you got. I heard you got a little 2-pounder in there.
Yeah, there's at least one 2-pounder in here. There's one of the 2-pounders there in the bag. There's another 2-pounder right there. So that's 2 fish.
2 fish.
There's number 3. And fishy number 4.
They're getting smaller?
They were getting a little smaller.
They look a little smaller.
I gotta be honest, I worked super hard today. I managed my limit.
Get them to stop flipping. Nine. Keep flipping. Go 9-6.
9-6.
9-6.
Yeah!
Good job, dude.
All right, man.
Good job.
How you're smiling. I don't know.
I am smiling.
Let's get over there to his boat, see what he's got.
I want you to be nervous.
I'm nervous.
I want him to be scared. We're not going to let on to what we got.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Let's see what you got. Let's get this thing going.
All right, let's do it.
The kicker is the difference here, I believe, on this pond. Let's see what he's got.
They're feisty, man.
I hear a lot of
these
rattling.
fish.
I hear a lot of
fish.
rattling in the live
They're
well.
crazy in here.
There's a good little guy.
See what number 2 looks like.
He's digging for number 2. He's allowed 4 more. If you got 2, you get 3 more. Uh-oh, they're getting bigger.
A little better. That one.
Definitely getting bigger.
Let's see what else is in there.
Oh, there we go. Let's see what the 2 weigh. All right.
Some lead weights in there, I think.
Yeah. We need a concrete block. He's going to need a concrete block today. He's got, Destin's got 2 fish for, looks like 2 pounds and 12 ounces, or 13 ounces.
Woo!
213. There it is, right on the
One
button.
day. I told you I was gonna let you sweat, at least for a little bit.
I was sweating all day. When I heard you hollering over there when you were fishing in the pads, I just knew you had a big one, but I don't know, we'll have to.
Maybe I was just letting on, so you thought.
That's right, exactly right.
Congratulations, Kurt, man. It was an awesome day. You won. You were the best man today on the water.
Well, you know, every day's a different day, Destin. You know, a couple key points for me today was, you know, getting a bite or two pretty quick on that frog, and then being able to then really realize for me that, you know, they kind of wanted that reaction bite on the frog. So I caught a couple of key fish on the buzz frog, and then once the sun got high, it was all about the cover on the bank, you know, whether it's pontoon boats, docks, whatever it was. That was really my key point for the day.
You know, the key for me was very similar to him, except I kind of stayed with the frog. Once we got to midday, I started getting a lot more frog bites. Like he said, they got closer to cover, and that was the key to me. I wanted the sun to come out because then I could pinpoint where the fish were and make high percentage casts. I got a lot of bites at the end of the day, but I wasn't able to capitalize, and that's just how it goes sometimes. My timing was off, and there's nothing more I can say about that. I mean, that's how it goes.
Hey, Destin, I appreciate you having me on the...
No problem, Kurt. Appreciate you joining us for the first show.
And that's no BS. Here we are, the no BS biggin of the day. So today's big bass was a 3-pound, 5-ounce. I got lucky enough to catch that fish today. I want to give you a couple quick tips on how that occurred. Like I said while we were on the water today, you know, one of the major keys for me was to use, you know, cover that was associated with the bank that some of these fish were getting up against once the sun got high. The way I did that was with a stick worm. So I was throwing the stick worm up against, you know, any kind of cover there was. That particular big bass came off of a pontoon boat. You'll notice, interestingly, that, you know, this hook. I use a weed guard for my hook. I'm also using a small black wacky rig, and what that enables me to do is first not lose very many baits, so I can skip that bait really far up underneath those boats and against that cover. The rod that I selected was a Powell rod, a 703, basically a medium to medium heavy action rod, so you can, you know, one, feel the tick when those fish just pick up this lure. And the biggest key to this particular bait is not to give it very much action. Just throw it out there. It's very subtle, very lively. It's got its own little action. Just let the bass come on over and eat it. That's your no BS biggin of the day.